Secure Auto Insurance. Alongside the Super Bowl champ, Lomas Brown, I'm Dannie Rogers. Eagles defense dissected one of the best offenses in the NFL. Detroit came in averaging over 31 points per game. Let's start there. Where was the disconnect on offense here tonight, Lomas?
Jamie, Danny, I'm sorry, Danny. It just didn't start off good. You could just see it from the early tip. You could just see that the offense wasn't in sync. The run game didn't get going early like we thought. You know what? I never thought we would miss one player on offense that was so important. And, Danny, I have to say it was Sam Laporta. It just seemed like the disconnect wasn't there. Jared's security blanket wasn't there for him today. And it just seemed like we was just disjointed from the first play all the way to the end of this game. So give the Philadelphia Eagles, their defense, a lot of credit because they forced a lot of things on the offense. We just never got in the groove. It's hard to explain, but we just never got in the groove.
Tight end Sam Laporta, like you just mentioned, he was put on IR coming into this game. So Detroit's going to have to be without him for at least 3 more weeks. He's dealing with a back injury. Let's talk about third down. 3 of 13 here today for Detroit. That it continues to be the Achilles heel. But something we didn't see coming, 0 for 5 on fourth downs. 5 turnover on downs for this Detroit Lions offense, Lomas. You're having a hard time digesting that.
I know, Danny. We thought we had got rid of those woes against Washington. We knew we were facing a much, much better defense, a much better defensive front. And we seemed to have the answer, which was mix the run in with the pass. Short passes to get our guys out in the open and let them use that yak, yards after catch or yards after run. But it just didn't happen. Give Philadelphia, again, a lot of credit. They had a great defensive scheme coming in today. They applied pressure when they needed to apply pressure. And I thought they made sure tackles. Once we got in space, other than Jameson's or J-Mo's 40-yard touchdown run, for the most part, they pretty much held us in check. So you have to give them a lot of credit. But I just didn't think this was the offense we expected to bring out here today. And we didn't execute the way we did last week.
Detroit is a top 10 run offense. They average over 136 yards per game, held to just 74 today. Large part due to that Eagles defense tackling, like you mentioned, and putting pressure all over this offense. Jahmyr Gibbs, usually we talk about him as a very elite running back. Today, he was elite in the receiving game. Today, Gibbs, not even 24 years old yet, just produced his first game with over 100 receiving yards. Did that make up for the lack of yards on the ground here today, Lomas?
I think it did. It really did. Because they bottled us up. Even David Montgomery, who got a large helping today, you know, he wasn't able to get loose the way that we thought he was going to be able to get loose. And, you know, Philadelphia, they had great gap integrity, meaning their guys were where they needed to be at. It was a couple of times that, again, on the pass, we were able to get Jahmyr out in the open, but for the most part, that was far and few in between. So, again, Sirianni, Vic Fangio, which is one of the best defensive coordinators in this the NFL, they had a great game plan, and they executed it. And I would say, Danny, more so on them, it was a lot of it was on us, too, when you talk about third down efficiency and fourth down efficiency.
17 touches for Jahmyr Gibbs, over 100 scrimmage yards here today for him. Wide receiver Jameson Williams, he was electric in this game in terms of getting 1 touchdown punched in for the Detroit Lions, coming on a 40-yard catch from Jared Goff. Unsportsmanlike penalty is soon to follow with his celebration. But J-Mo, once again, he's getting involved in this game, which is a little glimmer of light in this one.
Is, and we're going to need him, especially without Sam Laporta moving forward. Unfortunately, we did get that 15-yard penalty, unsportsmanlike penalty, and it caused us to try to kick a longer extra point, which we missed. But he's a guy that we got to continue to feed the ball to, because we see you get the ball in this young man's hand, he can make magic with it. He's so explosive that we have to continue to try to use him. And hopefully we'll be able to incorporate maybe Brock Wright more where he could clear out things underneath. But it's just amazing how one guy, like I said before, Sam Laporta not being there, it just seemed to have this offense just kind of off-kilter today.
J-Mo's second quarter touchdown, the only one that this Detroit Lions offense would see tonight. Something that is astonishing in the receiving game because he is such a steady Eddie, consistent guy for this team. Amon-Ra St. Brown, two catches today. He was targeted 12 times. Where was the disconnect in terms of that?
Danny, it just seemed like, the passes just weren't there today. And, again, the routes, we know he run great routes, but a lot of the passes just weren't on target for Amon-Ra. He's a sure-handed guy that we know catches the ball. I just think Jarrett was just a little off today, and they kind of affected the whole pass game today. I don't know whether it was the weather. I don't know whether it was the two gloves. I don't know what it was today, but it just seemed to be off today. And like I say, with the run game not being there for us like it normally is, it just kind of compounded the problem.
Defensively, Detroit's unit couldn't have done much more. They kept Jalen Hurts contained in the pass game, in the run game. They were really a bright light in this one, especially with the secondary continuing to take hits. Cornerback Terrion Arnold was out in this one with a concussion. Safety Kirby Joseph continues to be out with a lingering injury. What did you see from all levels of the defense tonight?
I mean, Calvin Shepard has those guys playing at a high level. And like you say, each level, the D-line, I thought they played very well today. I thought the linebackers, Jack Campbell with his 12 tackles, he had a great game today. I thought the secondary, for the most part, they had a nice day covering up A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And those were guys that the Eagles wanted to get involved in the game early. You could see it early that they wanted to get A.J. Brown involved in the game. Couple of early drops from the Eagles kind of really hurt them. But for the most part, I thought our secondary was pretty solid along with the rest of our defense.
Amik Robertson, he really gets a gold star here tonight, and he's been getting them pretty much throughout the entire season, having to step up in that secondary. Couple of passes defended. How difficult did he make it on Hurts in the passing game?
He did. I mean, he was there. He was stride for stride on a lot of those routes by the receivers. I thought he came up. I thought he made sure tackles. He was able to get in there. He had a tackle for a loss. He had two passes defended. I thought he played very well. And think about it, Danny. He's a guy that wants to take on the number one receiver. So his confidence never waned. And, again, when you seen a guy like him, Rock Yassin, he played pretty well tonight. I mean, these guys kept rolling in and kept doing what they needed to do to keep us in the game. We just didn't hold up our end offensively to help the defense.
Rock Yassin, 6 total tackles on the night. Jack Campbell and that linebacker crew leading the way with 15 total tackles. Detroit's defense only able to muster up 1 sack here tonight. It came from defensive tackle Roy Lopez. Sack for loss. 11 yards on Jalen Hurts. This is the second consecutive week we are talking about Lopez up there in the interior.
Danny, he's making splash plays. Last week we talked about some of the plays, the tackle for losses that he had. This week, we're talking about the sack that he had, which was a big, crucial sack when we had to have it. So Roy Lopez has really been making a name for himself in this defense. It's good to have guys that you can rotate in that's going to have an impact on the game. And Roy Lopez is a guy I think we could count on the rest of this season to be an impact guy for us. I mean, so proud of the way he plays. Every time he gets out there, he's making impact plays for us on the defensive side of the ball.
4 TFL is also coming from this Detroit Lions defense. 2 quarterback hits in this one, too. Jalen Hurts was definitely thrown off his game tonight. Defensive line-wise, though, are they the main anchors here going forward?
That's a great question. But, yeah, I think so. I mean, again, just look what they did. I mean, Tyleek.
Yeah.
You talk about DJ Reader. You know, you
Tyler
talk about
Lacey starting.
Tyler Lacey did a great job. The Dancing Bear when he was in there. We have a formidable defense, especially against the run. And think about it, going up against Saquon Barkley, another guy that the Eagles wanted to get involved in this offense. I thought we did a nice job of bottling him up too. So yeah, kudos to Calvin Shepard. Kudos to that defense for playing the way they play. Again, they're the ones that kept us in this game tonight.
Saquon Barkley needed 26 catches to get to 83 rushing yards on the day. So you're right. They did really bottle him up there. Head coach Dan Campbell is standing by. Let's hear what he has to say.
All right. Credit to those guys over there. You know, they earned that win. You know, they made the they made the plays in the critical moments. You know, they're at the end to win it. So that's what they've done. You know, it's proud of the way the guys played. I thought they played their tails off, played hard, man. I thought we finished plays, tried to finish plays. I thought we were disciplined for the most part. But just, you know, defense, I thought really played their tails off, you know. I thought they showed up, played championship-style defense. That, you know, they had to put out a number of fires there between the takeaways and the fourth down stops. But like I told them, man, but it's also you got the hot hand, and you gotta beat them back one more time. You know, and then offensively, you know, 3 of 13, 0 on third down, and 0 of 5 on fourth down. You know, we could not convert, you know, and when you can't convert, that makes it very difficult. You know, felt like we were going to get a rhythm after that second quarter. We started, you know, we hit those explosives, went down, J-Mo scores, touchdown, you know, and it felt like, all right, here we go. But just couldn't ever really get in a rhythm offensively. You know, there's some calls I wish I could have gotten back. You know, I didn't help those guys, and I hate that. You know, I didn't help them. So, but that was kind of the story of the game.
Was it a common theme on third and fourth down, Dan, or was it multiple things? What do you think was maybe the disconnect there?
Yeah, just
Philly was doing, or
no, they really didn't do. They really didn't do anything different. I mean, he, you know, like Fangio does, you know, he mixed his calls, and he's got a few that he rolls through, and he does a good job of variety there. But yet, you know, I wouldn't say it was anything like exotic or anything we haven't seen or talked about. We were just a little off. I mean, it really was kind of one of those days. I hate saying that, but it was just a little bit of one of those days. And I mean, it's a rare that, you know, Goff and St. Brown don't connect. More than that, you know, that's just a rare thing, because those guys have such a good connection. But, you know, there again, man, we're all involved in this. We all got a hand in it. From me, you know, the coaches, all of us, man, everybody that's part of this offense. You know, we got to be better, especially in a day like today when you're playing that kind of defense, that kind of team. You know, the margin for error is so small, man. You don't have the luxury. Like, we get in the red zone, we have to score a touchdown, man. We can't come away not scoring 7 there. You know, we have to convert at least 2 or 3 of those fourth downs. You know, you have to. And we were a little off. We just couldn't get our rhythm there.
Dan, Goff was under, obviously, constant pressure. And
say it again?
Goff was under constant pressure, and it looked like that wrecked anything you guys tried to do. Is there anything you could have done to relieve, because it looked like you couldn't even move at all in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, well, once we got down there, a couple of scores, that makes it a little more difficult. But, you know, I mean, certainly try to max protect a little bit more. That can help. You know, now you don't get as many guys out, but that's one way to do it. You know, we just, you know, there again, we just couldn't get going.
What'd you think of the Rock, the best?
Yeah, well, I thought he played defense like he did the whole game, man. I thought he challenged, you know, and played it like he did the very first rep that we played man-to-man. So I wouldn't tell him to do anything different, man. Get up there and challenge, play your style, and that's it.
You talk about how pivotal this November stretch would be. How forward and not allow his game to be too much for him.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, there again, we know the type of team we just faced, a good team, man, and we had our chances, we didn't get it done. They made the most of the opportunity, we didn't, but we're right there, and we understand what it is, and we understand we make one or two more plays in certain areas, then you got the legit shot to win that game at the end. So it is. As bad as it stings, as bad as it is, we're so freaking close, you know. And I mentioned this before, you know, you just kind of hit some of these patches here. We're middle way through the season. We're in November, and I believe this is the best thing for us. You know, you don't want to say that, and it doesn't feel good, but yet, man, we're going to learn from this. We're going to get better. We're going to adjust, and we'll be hitting our stride when other teams start to hit their adversity. Towards the back end of the season. I really believe that. So, you know, we're going to learn from this game, and we're going to get better.
We've seen you dial back the fake punts a little bit over the years. What made you want to try it tonight? What kind of look did you think you had?
Yeah, I just believe that we were going to, you know, I thought we could get those guys off balance. And obviously that didn't happen, you know. I felt like the look was there to move them, and they did a good job. They were ready.
How much did the elements play a part in some of the offensive struggles?
Man, I didn't feel like, you know, look, we had a little bit of wind, but I really didn't feel like that was, it was something abnormal. You know, like that we were in frigid temperatures so I really didn't believe that was it. You know, I don't feel that way. It just, you know. No. I mean, there was a couple of things early in the game that I wanted to be smart with because, look, there was a little bit of wind. But once we got going, I wasn't even thinking about the wind. I felt like, you know, that wasn't going to be an issue.
Dan, can you chalk up some of what happened tonight to the Eagles having a great defense and the world champs, but look at and wonder and be concerned about how the offensive line and your offense was overwhelmed a little bit?
Yeah, well, look, that is a good defense. We know that. But, you know, there's things that, just like every game, that is a very good defense. But yet, man, we can play better. You know, we can play better. I can call a better game. And there again, in this type of game, knowing what it is, man, we're talking about 1, 2, maybe 3 plays is the difference. And we're sitting up here and we just won the game, and it's like, whoa, man, you know, that was a hell of a win. You guys stuck it out, you know. But we just didn't make those plays. And so, you know, I really believe that's not going to be the norm, what happened today. I don't believe that's the norm. You know, we could not quite convert. We were a little bit off. And I don't believe that's going to be here to stay. You know, we're going to clean up a few things. We're going to find our rhythm, and we're all going to be better for it.
What do you tell Jameson about the penalty jumping on the ball?
Yeah, I told him it's a hell of a play. Don't do that again.
Before the half, they got inside the 5 there. You had all 3 timeouts. Did you choose?
Right before halftime?
Right before halftime.
Yeah, I thought about it. You know, it was like, man, maybe I'll just go ahead and bang that right now. But I knew we were getting it after halftime, and really what I did, I just kind of waited. I was going to wait until we hit about under a minute, and then at that point I just kind of let it go, like, all right, we'll get it back. So absolutely, I talked about it, thought about it, and I chose not to there. I chose not to. I said, you know, we'll take it in the third quarter. You know, we come out of halftime, and so, yeah, I did think about it.
With all the teams kind of bunched together right now, especially in your division, how do you view the final portion of the season for you guys in terms of the playoff push and what needs to be done to kind of get that run going?
Yeah, I mean, look, you take it one game at a time. You really do. I mean, we got the Giants this week, so we got to rebound, clean a couple of things up, go back to work, and get a dub, you know. And I mentioned this before, but everybody's playing everybody now. This is what's going to happen over the next couple of months here is all these teams we're bunched in with begin to play each other, you know, division games, NFC games, and so that'll all handle itself. You just worry about your own business. We're going to worry about us one game at a time.
Two things. Last two, Dave, the tush push, you guys shut that down. Just, I guess, explain the
Yeah, we got guys that play with leverage. They're strong, they're stout. Reeder and Lopez and Mack, and we got some tree trunks in there, man. They know how to grow roots and anchor in there, and that's where it always is going to start. So I thought the guys handled it well, did a great job, and it paid dividends today. It gave us a chance.
And Sam, you guys put Sam on IR.
Yeah.
How concerning is that? What's the long-term prognosis?
Well, obviously enough to where we're talking about 4 weeks here. So obviously we're going to hope that this thing calms down, and after those 4 games, we can get him back. But we're really just taking this day to day, week to week.
I think you'll get it back at this point.
I'm hopeful, but I really don't know.
Sean, last question.
Dan, you said you wanted some calls back. What about some decisions?
Yeah.
It's such a tight game.
Yeah, no, listen, and I told the team that. I was like, man, there's some things I wish I would have done different. And look, the bottom line is you obviously, if you go totally conservative, you got to, in the way this game played out and the way it was, you got a better chance of winning that game than some of those decisions I made. I understand that. But also, that's who we are. It's who I am, and it bit us today,
All right. Thank you guys. We'll have Jared in here next.
Yeah.
Guys, your prior success has put you at the top of the power rankings list. That's a good thing, right?
Well, just means you've gone from the underdog to the favorite.
But those expectations come from prior success, so that's okay.
What about Cure? Where do you guys rank on the power list?
Actually, we just got named by Forbes as one of the best car insurance companies in America.
Now you're the favorite.
Guess we have a lot in common.
Go Cure.
Go Lions.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to cure.com to see how you can save. Quarterback Jared Goff is number 1 in the league in terms of completion percentage at 74%.
Yes.
Tonight, 38%. He was thrown off rhythm all night tonight. What was the number one way that Philly defense impacted Goff?
I think, Danny, it wasn't a rush. I think it might have been just making them hesitate just a split second more. They got him off his spot a couple of times, but I think just that hesitation just kind of threw Jared off. We know he's a timing route guy, meaning things have to be on time for him. And if you could get the timing route, especially quarterbacks, if you can affect them for even a split second, it kind of throws them off. Seen some passes that I had never seen from Jared, some inaccurate throws on a couple of passes, some high throws, some wide throws from Jared Goff. So I just think that split second that he just kind of had to hold the ball through his timing off and through the timing off from the receivers.
Goff pitched 1 interception on the first outing of this game, but he was able to recover and bounce back. He didn't throw an interception after that, but never got into a rhythm with his receivers. How fixable is what you saw tonight from the offense?
Oh, I think it's very fixable. I think they go back to the drawing board and they work on that. They're going to work on their releases. They're going to work on their routes to make sure they're precise routes. If they're supposed to be at 12 yards, they're going to be at 12 yards. We know how disciplined Amon-Ra is. We know how good our receiving core is. So I just think it's something that is fixable, something that they'll correct this week leading into the Giants game and get it correct. They're going up, getting ready to go up against a Giants defense.
Surely a frustrating day for the quarterback. Jared Goff is standing by at the podium. Let's hear from him.
Just 1 or 2 plays, 1 or 2 inches, 1 or 2, whatever away from it. Was that the most frustrating part about tonight?
Yeah. I mean, we did feel like we moved the ball pretty decently at times throughout the game, and got down there, stalled out a few times. Obviously, the 4th downs weren't good enough, and you give a ton of credit to them. They're a good-ass defense, and you'd like to think if we were able to get a 4th down or 2, it changes the game, and even some of those 3rd downs. But yeah, they played well, and we weren't even close to up to snuff today offensively.
You got so used to you and St. Brown just kind of being that
Yeah.
terrific connection. I think 12 targets, only 2 catches. What was
Yikes,
the
yeah.
disconnect there? Was something they were doing, or just a little bit of both?
I don't think it has anything to do with him and I. I think there was just tight coverage and just didn't connect. There's a few I'd like to have back that I just missed on. slight miscommunication on our end on one or two of them maybe, but it should never be that bad. It really shouldn't. Yeah, it wasn't good enough.
It looked like the pressure was a problem on almost every single down. If they didn't get to you, they were tipping the ball or defending. Is that as much siege as you've been under in a while, do you think?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think they did. I think they did a good job. I do. I think they did a really good job. I think they're aware of how teams want to attack them, and they know if you're going to throw the ball quick, they can stop and put their hands up, and they're good. They're good on they understand that, and then they also know if it's a longer drop back to get their pass rush going, and they did that to some extent. But I don't want to take any credit away from them, but we shot ourselves in the foot a whole lot, and it hurt us.
You guys are obviously such a resilient team. Does it take any wind out of your sails when you go 3 for 18 on the money downs?
Ask that again. What's your question?
You guys are typically such a resilient team, but does it kind of hurt your confidence or whatever when you kind of keep on coming short on those?
No, I mean, I don't. The fourth downs are the whole thing. I don't know what we were on third down, but a lot of those third downs we're trying to get to fourth down and trying to get to fourth and short, and then expecting to convert. We've been really good on fourth down. I would imagine high 60s or 70s on the year, and today obviously had 0. So, that was part of the plan, was getting those fourth and manageables, fourth and shorts, convert on, let's say at least half of them, and it's a whole different ballgame. Now again, if and buts, it means nothing. They played good and we didn't.
Jerry, how about the elements? We saw the glove. I know wind can sometimes be the worst thing for a passing game.
Yeah, I don't think it affected us much. There may have been 1 or 2 throws, but no, I don't think it made a huge difference.
Why'd you go to the glove?
Felt good with it pregame. It felt like those would help me.
I know a lot of your teammates approached it.
A couple more guys.
You approached it like a must-win situation, or we really got to get this one. But you moving forward, how do you keep the guys even keel, level-headed? Did you learn?
Yeah.
Was this somewhat of a moment where the team stands right now?
Sure, to some extent. And to some extent, we did good things, and that's why you want to, we do stack up in some areas, but not good enough, obviously. Not good enough in a lot of areas as well. But yeah, we're 6-4. We're right in the middle of the season. Got 3 home games coming up. Got a lot to look forward to. Got a lot of football ahead of us. Everything's in front of us. We got a good veteran unit. We respond the right way. We will respond the right way. And yeah, it sucks. It stings. You want to come out here and play well and beat a really good team and be able to have a kind of hallmark win of the middle of the season, but didn't get it done. And got to move on and find a way to win next week.
You speak to the performance of the last 2, Tim and Dave.
Yeah, defense was incredible, right? They played really well, and kind of the game we anticipated from our defense is they were going to play a little bit of field position, ball control. Our defense was going to continue to stop them, and then we had to do our job and try to score points, and we didn't. It feels horrible. It's the worst. Our defense plays well, and feel like you let them down, and I know I certainly do, and it sucks.
Just to follow up on Eric's question a little bit, do you feel like you'll have to come back here at some point in the playoffs, just kind of given the record?
Yeah, certainly. If they're the 1 seed and we win a playoff game, it would go through here. So, yeah, that would be the case, and we'd like to be on the other side of it.
What do you think you guys what would you have to do different to come up with the win?
Yeah, where do you start? Whole bunch of areas. I don't know to give you specifics, but again, I know it sounds like a broken record, but they played well. We didn't, at least offensively, in their defense. And again, it sucks to stand here and feel like you let your defense down.
Dan said he wished he had a couple of decisions back, and I assume the fourth downs were some of them. Did you guys think about that maybe this was more of a field position type of game and gambling? I know it's in your nature. It was more.
No, I mean, yeah, that's just kind of who we are, and when it doesn't work, it's going to get questioned by you guys, and when it works, it's going to get praised by you guys, and it didn't work today, so I understand the question, but part of me says, once you commit to it, you got to keep doing it, because it's like at some point you're going to convert them, and tonight wasn't our night on fourth down, and it sucks. But yeah, you'd like to think, how many do we have? 6? But 3 of those, 2 of those, it's a whole different ball game, and again, not good enough.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Guys, your prior success has put you at the top of the power rankings list. That's a good thing, right?
Well, just means you've gone from the underdog to the favorite.
But those expectations come from prior success, so that's okay.
What about Cure? Where do you guys rank on the power list?
Actually, we just got named by Forbes as one of the best car insurance companies in America.
Now you're the favorite.
Guess we have a lot in common.
Go Cure.
Go Lions.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Detroit Lions Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance. Log on to cure.com to see how you can save. The Detroit Lions were certainly never out of this game. They were always within striking distance, but they were never in it either, Lomas, and that was the dagger here today.
No, you're right, Danny. And we knew we were going to have to play the complete game to be the defending champions at their home field. We didn't come out, and like Coach said, it was just a little off. It just seemed off from the beginning of the game. Never were able to get in rhythm offensively, and we know that the offense, if it can't get in rhythm, then we can't play complementary football, which we thrive on playing. So, like I say, give Philadelphia a lot of credit. They shut us down offensively, and then they made us pay on the defensive side of the ball, too.
Next up for the Detroit Lions, they're headed home to the Motor City for Week 12. They'll host the New York Giants, who are 2-9 on this season after losing to the Green Bay Packers. Jameis Winston had to sub in at quarterback for a rookie, Jackson Dart, who is out in concussion protocol. We assume they'll see Dart again. We'll see Dart here in the Motor City coming up. But you've got guys like Tyrone Tracy in there in the run game. What are you anticipating from that Giants matchup?
Well,
Lomas?
again, we're going to get a fight from the Giants. They're going to fight us. They seem to be playing very good under the intern coach that they had after firing Brian Daboll. Jameson Winston, if he is out there, he's their emotional leader along with Jackson Dart. And Jackson Dart, he's a dual threat quarterback. He can use his arm, but he also does well with using his legs. So we're going to have to fight. It's going to be a fight to the end. They're not going to go away. Hopefully we'll be able to play a lot better than we played today. Like I say, complimentary ball so that we can help our defense out. Because, like I say, Danny, I think our defense has played really well over the last couple of weeks.
Well, Detroit's been hanging their hat on not losing consecutive games in the last 3 seasons. Let's see if they can keep it going back home inside Ford Field. For Lomas Brown, I'm Dannie Rogers. Thanks so much for tuning into the Detroit Lions Live post-game show. The final from the link here in Philly, 16-9. Detroit falling on the road. They fall to 6-4 on the season. Looking for a bounce back win next week inside Ford Field. We'll see you there.